And over on this generation, because today we're looking at the Guardian Druid. So these two adaptation lenses are the two I always take. Hibernating Growth, I don't really use this one because even with the increased cooldown times, like not really worth for me going out because I'm not that good in shapeshifting back and forth all the time. My bad. So Demoralizing Roar, so they do less damage. Because the other ones are more like for group play. It's like this is the same story with as with Protection Warrior. You have a lot of your on-attacks are based on like group play. It's not based on like solo like damage increase and shit. Because this enraged mangle looks like a damage increase, but it's not because you don't have the fury, the rage for it to keep it up. Same with sharpened claws. It's like you don't have the rage to keep it up. So I use Clan Defender there because it's like I don't know. Maybe it works on yourself, but it's not really worth it. It's like kinda this one is a kinda useless tree in 1v1. Overrun could take this one, but I like to have my slow here. And then Entangling Claws. You could use this one too, but I like just to have this up all the time. So now we're gonna have to look at talents. I take Blood Frenzy for the more rage generation. Should oh, my game crashed. So here you're back again after the crasherino. So I'm using Blood Frenzy head for the more rage generation on trash. This is a cooldown, so that's a bit of shitty, and this is also this one is actually one I could use, but I like to have more rage. But obviously you can also use spams. Wild Charge for the extra charge, Restoration so you can heal a little bit yourself, and you can actually use healing spells because the other ones are movement speed and the range of your abilities. And you can really like cast spells, but you don't really have the time to cast those spells. Mighty Bash here for the stun, because Mass Entanglement and Typhoon are not that great. So now it comes to the part where I've run two builds in this video. So first I have the this one. Soul of the Forest, I had that one first. So Mango generates 5 more rage and deals 50% more damage. That one really didn't feel that nice, so I switched to Galactic Guardian. The damage has a 5% chance to trigger free automatic Moonfire on the target. And when this occurs, the next Moonfire you cast generates 15 rage. Been using this one's alright. It's like it's debatable. I'd say you could use this one as well. It's like this one probably has a bit more uptime than Galactic Guardian. But yeah, sometimes it's like since you're just spamming Moonfire all the time. Because at first I didn't do that. I was like, hey wait, I should use Moonfire as well. Because you can just constantly spam it in bear form. Really weird. It doesn't really do damage. You can just it's just free damage. You constantly can constantly do it. So I guess Soul of the Force would be a little bit better. It's like it doesn't really matter because that damage you won't notice it at all. It's like you just don't do that much damage. And then here, Survive the Fittest. It's for cooldown reduction on your defenses. Guardian of Elune. You might increase the duration of your next Iron Fur mark for assault by 2 seconds. Or the healing of your next frenzy generation by 20%. I think that one is the better one because it works on like 3 spells instead of 1. And this just works against auto attacks, and most people don't do damage with auto attacks anymore. It's like most of them are spells. For example, like Prot Paladin is like you can just completely destroy by the Avenger Shield. Then I ran Pulverized first, but this one doesn't help at all. It's like I don't know, it just doesn't feel that nice. And then I use Lunar Beam as well. That doesn't really help it either. It's like these feel really underwhelming the last year. It's like they didn't really feel like they do that much. So that's a bit too bad. To be honest, it's just a bit sad that overall Guardian Druid feels really lackluster and like you don't really have that many that much damage, and it feels more like something that works well in PvE, but in PvP it feels a bit boring, and yeah, you don't do that much damage. Like Protection War, for example, still did damage, but and Druid just doesn't do damage. It's like you have more self healing than Protection War, but you lack damage a lot. So that's kind of sad. It's like it might be that I just don't know how to properly play with the class either, but it just feels a bit lackluster. So yeah, let's go into the gameplay. It's just against tanks. It's like I fought like the same person like 3 times or something just to look at different build variants. But in the end, all of them felt like really underwhelming. So let's go into the gameplay. So first off, we're playing against a Vengeance Demon Hunter. And I had a feeling that this wasn't going to be. So here I'm using the pulverized talent. It's like I was looking at HP and I was like, I'm literally doing nothing to him. So yeah, it's kind of annoying to feel super weak. It's just like I feel like the top 3 tanks at the moment, like Blood Death Knight, Vengeance Demon Hunter, and Protection Paladin, really need some nerfs from their self healing and everything. It's just not fun to play against these. It's like when you play them, it's kind of funny, but when you play with the weaker classes, you're like, yeah, this is no fun whatsoever. So I understand why people are a bit salty about it, but yeah, it's just class. It's literally just class. It's like they're just way more overpowered than the other ones. Because that's what they are at the moment. It's like considering how much damage they do in the amount of self healing. So here we go against the Holy Paladin who felt like having a little brawl with me. I guess he was trying something out. So yeah, just put this in for funsies. And here we play again against the same Demon Hunter, seeing if I could do something better this time. Just like trying out again. But yeah, it was the exact same result again, so that's kind of sad. So yeah, top tier tanks again are the Blood Death Knight, Protection Paladin, and Vengeance Demon Hunter, with Protection Paladin being the best, and then Vengeance Demon Hunter slash Blood Death Knight sort of on the same spot. And then way lower below. Just like if you have like put like the classic like rate that they have like in Asian games where they use like the S rankings and stuff. So you gotta say like Protection Paladin is like the S rank, then you have like Death Knight and Paladin being A ranks, and then like Warrior, Druid and Monk are like C ranks. It's like the difference is that big. It's like you just don't do anything against those 3 classes at the moment when you're not those classes.
I can't attack that target.
And there you go up against a Protection Paladin. I was fully expecting to get completely stomped in this fight. I was actually surprised I wasn't taking damage to begin with. It's kind of interesting. Like Protection Paladin has been so overpowered. It's like literally overpowered for quite a while now. Like what is it, a month or something? And they still haven't changed anything to the class, which is kind of confusing. Because look how toxically OP they are. And I'm just waiting. It's like that's the reason why I don't want to make videos on it anymore, because it's like I see a lot of people playing Protection Paladin, but I think it's so insanely boring to play Protection Paladin when it's so overpowered. So yeah, too bad that Guardian Druid totally can't handle this. Like Guardian Druid is lacking so much damage compared to the Protection Paladin and stuff. Yeah, I disconnected a little bit. So I actually managed to keep it up for quite a while, and I accidentally pressed that menu because I was pressing the wrong hotkey. So I was actually impressed that I managed to survive this long, but yeah, there was no way in hell I was ever gonna win. So yeah, too bad. So here I try. Now I'm switching to the playing against the same demon hunter, but this one with the move fire spam. I'd say it felt like the move fire spam felt a lot better, but overall it's like still the same pictures. Like it doesn't really add damage to your damage, so you're still sitting there like, I can't do anything. Like it's like you want to spam more like offensive abilities, like the maul, which is on my, which is on all the way on the right there on the action bar, but you just can't because you need to spam their defensive cooldowns as you're gonna be dead in like 2 seconds. It's like what could help is that they make either your survivability more natural or they just up your damage. I feel like, but I feel like they should just nerf down the damage of damage and self healing of the top 3 tanks at the moment. And it's like for that person who was sitting there like, oh, you only play OP tanks. No, I just play tanks because I want to, and people want to see it, as you can see here. Like, so here we lose again, sadly. But yeah, it's just impossible for me to win against tanks at the moment. Against the top tier tanks, and like people, that's the only thing people play. They only play Vengeance Demon and Protection Paladin. Surprised that they're not more Blood Dead Knight, since Blood Dead Knight feels also like on the same level of strongness. So this is just against an extra little clip against the Retribution Paladin. So I just put this in to see that Guardian Druid is still very strong against DPS, it's just the weaker tank. But it still is really strong against DPS, so that's a good thing at least. But yeah, this just shows you that the other 3 tanks, like Blood Knight, etc., you know, are just way too strong. And that's a bit of a letdown. So yeah, this is gonna be the end of the gameplay.
You are too.
And so here we are after the gameplay. As you can see, Guardian Druid is just a lot weaker than the other 3 top tanks, and I feel like it's probably even weaker than Protection Warrior, because my Protection Warrior could actually dent the top tanks a lot more than I could with Guardian Druid. So I'd say revising my list after this one, I'd say Protection Paladin top, Blood DK, Vengeance Demon sort of same below it. Like sometimes they just go at like. Sometimes Blood DK is better, sometimes Vengeance Demon is better, so it just switches out. So, and then probably Protection Warrior, then Guardian Druid, and Brewmaster. Well, Guardian Druid, Brewmaster are sort of same because I haven't really fought against Brewmasters. But yeah, Guardian Druid and Brewmaster definitely rock bottom at the moment. And what I feel like is that, considering the damage that Guardian Druid still does against DPS, they really need to just nerf the top 3 tanks. Just nerf their damage. It's like when they buffed Dead Knights, they threw them probably overboard, because Dead Knights were on the same level as with the Guardian Druid or with Protection Warriors now. So they probably threw Blood DK overboard. Protection Paladin just needs a flat down nerf on all abilities and self-healing, because it's just way too much. And Vengeance Demon Hunter also just needs to nerf. I understand it's a new class and they want it to be entertaining, but it's just also way too strong. So yeah, I'd say that the Guardian Druid and Protection Warrior are the most balanced in terms of how they perform against DPS and everything. But yeah, it's like it's just not, they're just weak compared to the top tanks, which are, after playing Protection Warrior and Guardian Druid, they're just OP. It's just not any other way of putting it. They're just OP at this moment. So I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, that that Blizzard fixes those 3 classes, because they're just way too strong at the moment. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Guardian Druid video. Too bad I lost almost everything, but yeah, that's the name of the game when you're not a strong class. And I'll see you guys next time.